Welcome to the Kingdom Podcast, featuring Commissioner Christine King, where all voices are heard.
Welcome to the Kingdom Podcast, where we discuss all things Miami and all voices are heard. I am your host, Christine King, chairwoman of the City of Miami Commission and your public servant for District 5. Today, my guest is Dr. Randall Thompson. He is a chiropractic doctor, and his business is located in my district, District 5, on 54th Street, where the old Victor Piano used to be for those of us who have been around for some time. Welcome, Doctor.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being a part of our Kingdom Podcast. From time to time, I like to highlight businesses that are doing great things in our community, and I don't know much about, I've never been to a chiropractor.
Shame on you.
Shame on me. So I wanted to educate myself as well as our community on the benefits of having a chiropractor check us out.
Okay. I'm going to ask you some questions. Do you mind?
No, I don't.
Okay.
That's a first, but okay.
Okay. What do you think of when you think of chiropractors?
Breaking my back.
Breaking your back. Okay. So we don't do that, right? A lot of people think chiropractors break, or they hear the cracking noise and they think it's something being broken. But that's not the case. The noise that you're hearing is actually gas being released. So
Out of your spine?
So nitrogen, actually, from your joints. So when you gap the joint, gas is released, and that's why you hear that noise, that popping noise. It's not actual us moving the actual bone from here to, North Miami. It's just to get the joint being gapped. Just like if you pull your finger, you're not actually ripping it off, but you're going to get that same noise. And that's the audible effect. That's gas being released.
Oh.
Yes. So people think it's a break. It's not actually a break. It's just the joint being gapped, and that's what happens. So that's where a lot of that fear comes from.
Well, I mean, you only have one spine.
This is correct.
And medicine hasn't figured out a way to put the spine back together as yet, so.
We don't break it. That's the thing. Medicine also hasn't found a way to treat a lot of things that we treat.
For example?
For example, so we treat headaches without the use of medication.
Really?
Really. Headaches, migraines, flu, asthma, you name it. Chiropractors, there's research about it. There's even actual research that's showing getting adjustments in HIV patients increase their CD4 count.
Oh. What's a CD4 count?
The actual white blood cell production and actually boosting their immune system. So I'm not saying that chiropractic is all healing, but every tool, every project doesn't deserve a hammer. And we have a lot of people right now that are getting conventional medical treatment for a lot of things they could be going to a chiropractor for. And if we work together to treat the patient, then we'll get better results, because the medical doctor may know and he may not. The chiropractor may know and they may not. But the problem is, the conception is the medical doctor knows all, and they don't. Like I know, because all of them aren't great, just like all chiropractors aren't great. But I feel like...
Are you a great chiropractor?
I'm the best. That's me being modest.
That's you being modest?
That's me being modest. I mean, because you have to feel you're the best when you're actually holding somebody's spine in your hands. And
absolutely.
Actually, you don't want you don't want to go to chiropractor and be like, I'm okay, I'm cool, I do what I do. You'll be like, yo, let me give me to another place. Like, what type of politician are you?
I'm not a politician. I'm a public servant.
What type of public servant are you?
I'm a fantastic public servant.
That's what I'm talking about. I would love a fantastic public servant. I wouldn't want a subpar public servant. And that's
I'm a public servant that all voices are heard with me.
Correct, because she's never even been to a chiropractor, and she gave me the opportunity to come on her platform. So that's amazing. A lot of people wouldn't do that, but she did. But we're able to provide health care in a natural form. We also deal with nutrition. We also deal with exercise and physical therapy. So we also have a combativeness with some physical therapists, but the actual first physical therapist was a chiropractor. So we've been in healthcare for a long time. Even if you date it back, ancient bone setting was in Egypt. Mm-hmm. So none of this stuff is new, right? Even as far as the way the medicine is portrayed, right? So you have medicine, modern medicine, right? So medicine was started by Imhotep in Egypt. Modern medicine was started by Socrates. But that's a whole nother thing.
That's a whole, yes. You're taking us, I'm interested in that. You're taking us really delving into, and I'm going to come and visit you. What, for someone that's seemingly healthy, and I agree, because I don't prescribe to the something is wrong with me and you just throw a pill at me. I'm not going to do that, right? I remember I went to the doctor and she said that my cholesterol level was high. Take this pill. And I said no. And she said, you got to take this pill. And I said no. I will adjust the levels myself.
Right.
And I went back 3 months later and I was all within range. And she asked me.
Did you take the pill?
No. How did you do it? She asked me.
How did she not know?
But what I did was I cut out eating cheese.
Right.
I stopped eating cheese.
Cheese is poison, by the way.
I
Dairy
love
as a
cheese.
whole.
Just.
Do you know
you're gonna die, right?
Do you know why you love cheese?
Because it's good.
No, because so cheese has a chemical in it called casein, which actually makes it addictive, kind of like nicotine in cigarettes. So casein is an actual chemical in cheese. That's why people are like, I can stop drinking milk, but I love cheese because you're addicted. So it's almost like a heroin type of thing.
Well, I don't drink soda.
That's amazing.
I don't eat meat.
That's amazing.
So I'm going to eat some cheese. I'm going to eat it. And there are really good vegan options.
Right.
Let me do a shout out for another business in my district, Ironside Pizza. They have a fantastic vegan pizza.
Oh, for real?
And I'm not saying that I'm vegan, but 95% of my diet, I'm vegan.
But you're health conscious. The general public is not. So think about how she told you to take the cholesterol pill and didn't even give you an option for changing your nutrition, didn't say what are you eating, didn't even ask these questions because she doesn't care. Now,
I wouldn't say she doesn't care. She's a very good doctor. I mean,
my dad always says the best doctor is in the mirror.
that's true. Oh, I will challenge a doctor. Like, I should. No, I'm not doing that.
You should.
I challenge the
And
doctors.
they should allow you to.
Yes, I used to have a fight with my doctor. He retired. We used to fight all the time. And he would say, when you have a medical degree, you can tell me. But I would tell him, this is wrong. And he's like, no, yes, it is. I don't feel right. And then he'll run tests, and I will be correct.
See, the problem is, so in healthcare, we have what we call SOAP notes, right? Subjective, objective. What the patient says, what we find out. So you have to listen to what the patient says. The doctors that aren't as good don't listen. So if you come into my office and you say, okay, I have this problem and that problem, I have to listen to you before I do anything. The problem is some people already feel like they already know as soon as the patient walks in and they have their plan already drawn out. Now I get it, some stuff can be run-of-the-mill and it can be general. And a lot of these people are overworked. So they have so many people, they don't have time to actually even think about what may be wrong or that they can be wrong. And that's the thing. It's called practicing for a reason.
Right.
You know, I don't.
Right. The same thing with law. I'm an attorney.
Right.
And it's the practice of law.
Correct.
So it's, it's not one size fits all.
Correct.
So if, say I come to you.
When you come.
When I come. When I come to you, a relatively healthy person, I don't have any complaints necessarily. I am coming to you for physical therapy, though, because I'm running a marathon. But for chiropractic services, what would you recommend for someone that doesn't necessarily have a complaint?
You may not have a complaint, but you may have an issue. So you say you had high cholesterol. Okay, you change your nutrition. Now you may have headaches. You may have other things. Some people think that just because they have it all the time, that it's normal.
So I don't get headaches.
And that's amazing.
The only time I get a headache is if I hadn't had enough water or I'm mad.
You get mad a lot?
No.
They're laughing, I don't know.
No, I mean, it'll be months before I have a headache. I'll go months and months without a headache. I had a friend who would have like 20 to 30 headaches a month.
And what did she do for it?
The doctor was giving her this and that and all that kind of
stuff.
stuff.
The problem is you don't have headaches because of a lack of aspirin. You don't have headaches because of a lack of Excedrin. Also, aspirin, Excedrin, all these things lead to ulcers. So first we would need to examine you first to see how your spine is. You're wearing high heels and you're running a marathon. And if you want physical therapy on whatever area of your body, high heels definitely won't be advantageous to your healing. So that's one thing we would try to.
Well, I've got a certain swag,
I get you.
But I wear flats, I wear heels, I wear sneakers. I have,
The same way that cheese did that to your cholesterol, you would need to know that high heels are doing that for your body part that you need to get fixed. You would need to know that. That's why you probably limit cheese now opposed to before.
I do limit cheese.
Correct. And you would limit high heels to essentially become a faster marathon runner. Because when you take a step, when you have the high heels on, right, you're supposed to take a step with your heel hitting the ground first. What you have on the high heels, you can't do that because you're constantly on your toes. So your feet can't spread apart, so you can't actually take the step right. So that's going to lead to improper gait, low back pain, or sometimes other joint pains, which could present as that. But knee pain in itself doesn't actually come from the knee. It usually comes from above and below. Mm-hmm. So you may think that you have knee pain, but you may have actually
IT band.
Could be IT band. Could be hip pain. Could be a foot pain. We're just feet. We're just ankles. We're just knees. We're just all joints in my office. Some chiropractors, not so much, but there's different ways to practice chiropractic. There's so many different types, and a lot of them do great work, right? And we would assess that first, and then we would progress to some type of treatment, some soft tissue work, along with some joint work. And we treat wellness patients as well. Some people, once they get adjusted, they may say, well, once you get adjusted, you have to keep going back. Well, once you feel good, why not keep going?
What's adjusted?
Adjustment is the actual cracking of the bones that people see. So what we're doing, we're aligning the spine, or we're aligning the joint, or misalignment. So we gap the joint, and the body puts it where it's supposed to go.
Okay.
And so the first chiropractic adjustment that was documented in the United States was done by D.D. Palmer. And he did it on a guy named Harvey Lillard. He was deaf. He got adjusted. He got his hearing back. I don't know how true that story is, but that's the story.
That's a good story, though.
That's the story they tell us. And then somehow, after you skip 150 years, now we can only treat back pain.
Right.
Because the AMA pushes us to this corner. They try to get rid of us as a whole. That's why you might see negative things about chiropractic every so often, because the AMA has been going against chiropractic forever.
The American Medical Association?
Correct.
I see. Mm-hmm.
Which is sponsored by Big Pharma, and they are sponsored by...
Right. And
whatever.
Yeah. I generally, I'm not taking any medicine. I try to get all of my nutrients from plants.
Correct.
I exercise. My goal this year is 366 miles by 366 days. But I'm tracking ahead of that.
We're going to get you there.
No. I'm tracking ahead of that.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to hit that. I have 67 miles to go.
Okay, that's nothing.
For 366, right? Yeah. So I'm going to, and then I started training for the marathon, the half marathon. I did run a full marathon once, but
You're tough, man.
My sports medicine doctor said, you got that out of your system, don't do that anymore. Because he said it's just too hard on the body. But I love running. So I exercise regularly, at least 5 days a week, 4 days if it's a really tough week. Mm-hmm. But I can't go more than 3 days without exercising. I start to feel off.
I get it.
Off.
But that's amazing. That's how you're supposed to be. But the general public is not like that, especially in America. We're the most overfed, over-medicated nation in the world. We take the most meds and we eat the most food.
And I don't eat fast food. I don't eat if you have a drive-through, I don't eat there.
You should ban them. You should ban them from the district.
I don't know about all of that. I don't know. So where did you go how long have you been a practicing doctor?
I've been practicing since 2011. But I've been in chiropractic offices all my life. My dad's a chiropractor, so he's been practicing. He's on 48th Street, so he's not far from me. So I used to practice in there with him, and then I got my own thing on 54th Street. But he's been practicing since 1982, serving the community.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, my dad's a chiropractor.
I should have been interviewing him.
No, he's not as good as me. Nice guy though.
He's gonna knock your head off.
I mean, he'd be like, well, it is what it is.
So where did you study?
I went to American High in Miami, and then I went to Florida A&M, and I went to Palmer College of Chiropractic in Port Orange, Florida. So I never left the state for education.
Okay. And what's the name of your business?
Miami Spine Clinic, located on 292 Northwest 54th Street.
Say that again so our listeners and our viewers can come and visit you.
Miami Spine Clinic, located on 292 Northwest 54th Street, right in Little Haiti.
And District 5.
District 5, the best district in the world.
That is true.
Because we have the best public servant in the world.
I didn't pay him to say that.
Yes, you did. Where's my check?
Okay. So, again, for someone who's relatively healthy, what would be your...
We would adjust you.
Plan of...
We would adjust. We would examine you. We would examine your nutrition, because some people come in and say that they're healthy, but they're not, right? Because I'm pretty sure you have friends that say, I work out, and you'd be like, how often? Once a week. What do you do, walking? You're like, yo, I'm running marathons. And these people might be in their 20s. And, you know, and you're like, yo, that's all you do? And we would examine you first. We would check out. We would ask you questions to see what you say. Some people lie. They say they eat really healthy and they come in smelling like fried foods. But we'd examine you. We'd ask you about your nutrition. We would do a composite exam, and then we'll get started with your treatment via soft tissue, and we would get to adjust you.
Oh, okay. And the adjustment...
The adjustment, that's...
What about some people, like, there's some people that one hip is higher than the other hip? Or?
So, yeah, most people, especially runners, you're going to have some hip imbalances, and you probably might have, and that could be causing some other issues. So we would definitely check the levels of your hip, your overall balance. We would do some orthopedic examinations to check and see how you are with your range of motion and if there is pain or restriction with any of those things. So while you may not think you have anything wrong with you, we may check you out, check your levels. Your hamstrings might be tight, your quads might be tight, or your hips might be tight, or you might have bad ankle mobility, which could lead to something in the future. So preventative methods are also a part of it. Like, you may go to other practitioners and you come in with nothing wrong, and they say, well, nothing's wrong, so go home. Well, I feel something wrong, or I feel something a little off. Well, that's when you need to come to a chiropractor, and we can check you out a little further.
That's fantastic. I can't wait to get adjusted.
I can't wait to adjust. Miss Christine King.
But I definitely am coming to see you about my knee.
We'll get you right.
Because I have a prescription. You know, I was running with my weighted vest this day, and my knee...
Some David Goggins stuff, huh?
My knee got a little wonky, and because I'm training for the marathon, I think I better do something extra with it just to make sure I don't have... Because as I add miles, I don't want there to be a problem and sideline me.
Is it possible that you could run on some softer stuff outside of, like, the road or concrete?
No.
Dang.
I mean...
That'll be better for your knee.
I know, but maybe the weekend, but with my schedule, it's so convenient for me. I walk out of my door and I just go running through Morningside and come back. So I don't have to do much preparation. I just walk out and go run.
Do you warm up before you run, or you just get to it?
I walk a little bit before I start running. Sometimes. Some I don't know. That's coming and going.
You stretch or anything?
Not always.
Jesus.
I know that's bad. I do yoga.
Okay, well, that's good.
I do yoga, but not as often. I know you should stretch before you...
You probably get a little warm and stretch.
I get a little warm because I do the walking, right? And when my knee was bothering me, that's how people are, right? When my knee was bothering me, I would stretch before I started walking or running. I would stretch afterward, and my knee went back. It feels great, and now I don't.
Just getting out and booking it.
Yes,
I get it when you press for time, and that's what a lot of people. And as we age, because in theory we're all aging, right? Because nobody's getting younger. But to keep yourself to be able to keep doing the things you like to do longer, you're gonna have a longer warm up in order to survive.
Yeah.
And I hate it. I hate warming up. My warm up used to be, all right, well, take a couple layups, and then, all right, now we're on a basketball court running full speed. I can't do that no more. I got to get the foam roller. I got to grab this, do 90-90s. They want to play. I'm like, nah, just wait. I'm 39 now, so I can't just jump out on the court like that.
Oh, you're so old.
I know. I'm about to get some benefits. ARP caller. Sponsored by ARP.
So do you accept insurances?
Some of them. Right now we're taking Ambetter and Aetna CVS, and God forbid you get in a car accident, we accept that health insurance. It pays. We're working to try to get some more insurances to help compensate us, but insurance in the chiropractic field is a little tough because, like I said, the AMA controls the dictation of what's medically necessary.
And it seems like going to see a chiropractor, particularly for a wellness visit, seems like a luxury.
It does and it doesn't, because it's almost like getting your oil change, right? So if you don't get your oil change, yeah, you could drive, but then one day
the car's just gonna
it's going to take a dump on you. And you're going to be wondering, well, what happened? It was driving good the other day.
Right.
Well, you didn't get any maintenance. So people go to their healthcare provider to get examinations once a year. Women go and get checked, once a year to their OBGYN. Well, and I always ask women, what's more important, your OBGYN or your chiropractor? They're going to say the OBGYN. And I say, well, guess what? If your spine not working, nothing down there is going to be working either.
It's all connected.
It's all connected.
And that's our problem in the U.S. Like in other countries, they do preventative, particularly where health care is given.
Correct.
Right?
Well, we don't have health care. We have sick care. You're sick, come see me. If not, get lost.
Right. But like in England, they have preventative medicine because they don't want you to get diabetes. They want to make sure that you're healthy so you don't have to come because healthcare is free.
Right. So I even spoke with some other people outside of the country. I was trying to provide some alternative healthcare methods, and some people just look at it just as a business. Like I was like, let's provide this, let's provide that. It's like, why do that if I could do a $60,000 hip replacement and they're going to need it anyways? They can care less about saving the patient money.
Quality of life.
Or if every patient is qualified to do the actual surgery. They could care less. And that's a lot of people. And that's how a lot of people look at it. It's just numbers. And I don't ever want to become that type of business owner, because I am a business owner as well, to where you just look at the patient as a number. Like you have to have some type of ethics. And that's one of the titles of the classes that they teach us in chiropractic school. We have structure, function, foundations, and care. So you have to care about the individual, to me, to be some type of provider of health. Like you're a public servant, I'm also a public servant. Yes. I serve the people. And you have to care about the people to serve the people in the right way.
That is true. I'm sold. I'm sold.
Perfect.
I'm coming.
It took a while.
Yes, it did.
You gonna let us shoot a video? You don't have to.
Okay. I don't know about all of that.
It's all good.
But I'm excited about maybe adjustment and seeing where that leads me.
Correct.
I'm excited about that because I do try to lead a very healthy life. What I left out with the cholesterol, I did a headstand every day.
You did a headstand every day?
Every day.
How'd you do that?
Brought my cholesterol levels down.
Oh, really?
I don't know, but
it brought something down.
When I went back to the doctor, my cholesterol levels were fine. So cut out the cheese, and I didn't eat that much cheese, so I don't think it was just cheese. But I did yoga, and I did a headstand every day. And I don't know, something with the blood rushing to your head, and
that's a new one for me. But if it works, that's the thing, right? Healthcare, they try to act like everybody knows the right thing. And somebody be like, well, research papers say you should take this, and research papers say you should take that. Who made the research? Who paid for it? It wasn't me.
Right. Right.
You could tell me, and it's always people speaking against everything. You could show me a research paper against chiropractic. Was I involved in that research? No, I was not. Nobody I knew was. So, and like how you have that fear because somebody probably showed you something negative about chiropractic, or you probably heard something, but the people who are talking about it aren't like, my dad's a chiropractor, right? So I've seen this my whole life. Right. I never seen anybody have any issues after leaving his office. I seen people come in bent over and can't walk and went to all kind of other healthcare providers and get up and walk away and feel good. Mm-hmm. I have friends that are chiropractors. I don't have anybody that killed any patients or anything like that. I challenge people to ask themselves if they know anybody that was harmed by the hospital or a medical doctor, or if they know one. And I'm pretty sure it won't be hard to find. That's what I'm saying. So why are people afraid of us and not them?
Right. No, I'm afraid.
That's it. Because
I feel like I was hospitalized. I'm allergic to something. I don't know what I'm allergic to. But I went to the hospital having symptoms, this allergic reaction, and they said it was something else. And I was in the hospital for 8 days before they said, you're allergic to something. But by now, you don't know what I'm allergic to because you didn't test me. And they gave me all kind of tests. They would come into my room every day and say, you have this. They would come back in the afternoon and say, you don't have that. And at the time, I was training for a marathon. And they came in and said, you have arthritis. You have rheumatoid arthritis. I cussed them out so good. Came back in the afternoon, you don't have arthritis. I told you that.
So now let's say you just agreed with them. They would have had you on all type of medications for the rest of your life. Now, what about the side effects of those medications? How many people do you know that are probably misdiagnosed with a problem that they don't even have?
Probably a lot.
Probably a lot.
Probably
you, on the
a
other
lot.
hand, you like, I lead a healthy lifestyle. I never had an autoimmune disease, but you got somebody in front of you with a white coat telling you they're smarter than you are.
Right.
And you're like, well, I do have education. I may not have education in this, but nobody knows me better than me.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the best doctor's in the mirror. If you would have let them just dictate your health, then don't tell them what
I know.
happened.
Listen, they came one morning and said, you have Lyme disease. Where would I get Lyme disease from in this concrete jungle that I live in? How do, and they come, you don't have Lyme disease. My skin I had a rash. Like, it looked like I had heat rash all over me. And my skin was really itchy. And at the time, training for the marathon, I was all of between 109 and 112 pounds.
Wow.
I was asleep for 2 days. You can't give me 2 Ambients. Not even at my size today can I take 2 Ambients.
Now think about it like this. What if something would have happened to you because of the Ambien?
Exactly. So now, if I can't call 911 in the hospital, somebody has to be with me. That was the last time I was hospitalized. But my rule of thumb now is that if my family member, whoever I love, if they have to go to the hospital and they can't advocate for themselves, we have to be there around the clock, 24 hours. Because I swear, if they had done one more thing to me, I would have called 911 because they were trying to kill me.
Think about it like that. They were trying to kill you, and you needed to have a family member there. Think about a certain situation where they had people where you couldn't have family members in the hospital.
Exactly.
For a couple of years. So how many people you think died because of medical error at that
Exactly.
time? But I'm not pointing any fingers.
I didn't say where I was. I didn't call any names.
I didn't say which 2 years. I'm going to say for a couple of years, you couldn't go in the hospital with your family members and people were dying. So imagine if this, say, healthcare provider comes in a bad mood and they're just putting people to sleep or just giving them any medication and not checking.
You know that's wrong. They gave me 2 Ambients. 2 Ambients. You can't. You know that's wrong. And I was so terrified. It happened in 2009, and that's when I stopped eating meat because they were like, this is wrong with you, that is wrong with you. And I said, I do not receive that. And then I said, God, if something is really wrong with me, help me heal myself with food. And I gave up eating meat in that hospital and never looked back. And I don't get colds, I don't get the flu,
But the Bible said the herbs are the healing of the nation.
There you go.
So you healed yourself through food, and like I spoke to you about earlier, like a lot of other religions don't have dietary restrictions. They do have dietary restrictions. Christians don't. So we just eat whatever we want. You eat pig, eat shrimp, eat whatever. And I get it, people indulge in this food, but a lot of this food is killing, especially now because it's not even real anymore. Now we get to see, even when they put grass-fed, even when they put pasture-raised, it's still manipulated terms to make you feel like you're eating better quality of meat, but they're still massaging around, making it crap because it's controlled by big corporations. And every time big corporations get involved in stuff, even like the hospitals, doctors, I was told by medical doctors, which I didn't even know, medical doctors can't even own hospitals in the United States.
Wow.
So only corporations own it. So they're not even allowed to carry out their own protocols. The hospital does it.
Right, the hospitals. A good show for that was, it was on NBC. I was watching it. It's now on Netflix. I can't think of the name, but the head doctor, the doctor that was in charge, he used to test the boundaries and fight. No, not House. I can't remember the name. It was a good show. It came on right after This Is Us, because I used to watch This Is Us, which was a fantastic show as well. Both are on Netflix right now. I'll tell you the name of it, but he did that. So we've come to now, you're such a fantastic guest that we're running out of time, and I have this portion of the show where we try to get to know you on a personal level. Do you have a favorite book?
My favorite book, I have a few. Could I give a few or just one?
Just one.
All right. Well, the first motivational book that got me really going and changed my mindset was Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Okay. Do you have a theme song?
A theme song. Here I go, mystical.
That's good. That's a good one. All right. If you could have dinner with anyone, living or dead, who would you want to break bread with?
That's a good one. I do not even know. Who do I want to have dinner with? Oh, man.
Living or dead?
Living or dead. I don't care about too many dead people. I don't really. Living or dead. Give me. Who did you pick?
I'd want to have dinner with my grandmother. She passed away when I was a child, so I didn't have a relationship with her. I was really young when she passed away. My mother adored her mother, and she's Arawak Indian. She was born on the reservation, the Wakapow Reservation in Guyana, and I feel as if I feel her presence with me, that, you know, she walks with me, and I would love to have a conversation with her.
Dang, I still don't know who I want to have dinner with.
Okay.
Your answer's way better than mine. Whatever I would have picked.
Okay. Well, what do you do to relax? You're really healthy. You're all into this. What do you do that helps you unwind?
To unwind, well, I just really like sports. Like, that helps me. That's like how I get away. Like, so I kickbox. I kickbox right across the street from my office at KO Zone, and it's like, when you sparring or when you fighting, everything else doesn't matter except for that person in front of you. They're trying to cause physical harm to you. So everything else doesn't matter. It's just them. It's you and them. So it's like, oh, you had a bad day today? Okay, well, this person's trying to hit you in the face. So you don't really think about that much. You worry about that after. So that's how you get to just
zone out
of whatever. Because, you know, life is always lifing.
Yes,
so
it is.
When you get to have that type of focus, for whatever reason, it gets to take you away from it just a little bit. And you get to exercise. And you get to punch people in the face. Which is always...
I might have to visit them.
Yeah, punching somebody in the face is...
In a structured environment.
In a structured environment.
Yeah. We're not encouraging anyone to go around punching people in the face.
Depends.
Okay. Now, if you could give your younger self advice.
Start reading books earlier.
Really?
Yeah, because I read a quote from a book. It said, the people who don't read are no different than the ones who can't if they don't read.
That's pretty good. I read every day.
You have to.
I read every day.
And exercise, you have to exercise you have to exercise your body, you have to also exercise your mind. And I thought, you know, when you're younger, you think you know everything.
You think you know everything today?
Oh, no, I know I don't know everything.
Okay.
I know I don't know everything. I know I don't know much. That's why I'm here sitting with you trying to learn about how to be a public servant.
Public servant, right? There's a difference. There's a difference.
What's the difference between a public servant and a politician?
Well, there are some folks that are in it for the service, and there are some folks that are in it for the limelight, the power.
Ego.
Yes.
I read a book called The Ego is the Enemy.
Yes, mine is, for sure. I have to slap her around all the time.
You have to.
Get her in check.
You have to. That's why, when starting different sports like kickboxing, it showed me whatever ego you think you have, you could look at people, size them up, and it's like you get in there, this guy just looks like a goofy little geeky guy. No, this guy got 100 fights. Okay, let me put my ego in check and shake his hand and be really nice.
Yes.
You know, and that's part of checking the ego.
And it's very hard. It's very hard to do that.
Especially when, I also heard, vain men only hear compliments.
Well, thank you. I think this is one of the best shows I've had. Comedy mixed up.
It's the best.
It's the best?
Why not?
Okay.
Why can't we just give me something?
It's the best.
Thank you.
It is the best. It's the best Kingdom podcast that I have filmed since I've started. Thank you all for joining us again for another episode of the Kingdom Podcast. I am Christine King, your host, and I will see you again soon. That's a wrap.
I'm Dr. Randall Thompson. I'll be here every time.